It's kinda unfair that Jett is the only agent in Valorant that has a passive, but today that changes. In this video I'm gonna give buffs and passives to everyone. I tried to make them as related to agents as possible. This idea is inspired from Sepsky dad. I'm gonna have his video in the description for you to check out. So let's get started. First in our list we got the newest agent, Ice.
Too bad. 你们这个故事可好了。
If he's close to dying, he has a 10% chance of putting two enemies that are close to each other into a 1 versus 1 fight. And of course, the last person standing wins and comes back to the game. But if no one gets finished in time, they both die. So they are kinda forced to fight and not just hang out. Moving on with Reyna. Reyna, after getting a kill, she gains an increased 5% fire rate and 5% less recoil. And on every other kill, she gets an additional 1.5% on fire rate and less recoil. For Omen, he has a 10% evasion, and bullets just pass through him without damaging him, cause he's kinda like a ghost, and on every kill he gets, he receives plus 1% evasion point. I know many of you expected Omen to blind with Piranha the enemy, but I wanted Fade to have this passive. Fade, after getting a kill, if it connects to an enemy, they get Paranoia blinded for 1 second. Okay, so guys, has there ever been a point in your life where you are left out of ideas? Cause that's what happened with me and Gekko. He has a 5% chance of spawning a pet dragon that spits fire and has a lifespan of 5 seconds. I was really left with nothing but a dragon. Anyways, let's move into more easy ones. Raze has one explosive bullet dealing 10 damage to nearby enemies and more crucial damage to the one getting hit from it. Viper, on the other hand, has a poisonous bullet with a 15 poison damage. Same with Phoenix, but with a 10 burn damage. And in additional, a certain radius becomes heated and the enemies in that radius get armor reduced and overall receive more damage. Neon got a bullet with chain lighting to the nearest enemies, dealing 10 damage. Sage got one bullet that freezes the enemy it hits for 1.5 seconds. Breach is kinda like Reyna. He has a 5% more damage and adds up 1% on every kill. Similar to this is Skye. He takes 5% less damage and on every kill it adds 1%, making him more tankier. Next, Yoru has 10% chance of teleporting to safety if he's about to get shot and die. I even gave Jett a passive so she wouldn't feel left out. Jett got one bullet and lifts an enemy to the air for 1 second. And the last one bullet buff to wrap this up, we got Cypher with a bullet that scans the enemy it hits for eternity, unless they remove it. Next we got Chamber. He gets 10% more money on kills, and it adds 1% on every other kill. Okay, we got the funny ones now. Brimstone has a 10% chance of spawning a small trooper that shoots and gives info on its own. Astra has a 10% chance of spawning a concussion star on the exact spot of the enemy she killed. Harbor though has a 10% chance of turning the killed enemy into water and spills on a certain radius, making the rest of enemies wet, thus they become slower and every electric ability or ice ability has more effects on them. Killjoy has a 10% chance of having an upgrade tool that can be used on her gadgets, making them more powerful, but the ultimate ability will require 2 upgrade tools to get buffed. Sova has a 10% chance of scanning everything in a certain area, even if someone takes cover behind a wall or a box. Skye has a 10% health regeneration after the first kill, and an additional 5% more on every other kill. And last but not least, we got Deadlock. Deadlock has a 2% chance of spawning a cage, trapping every enemy in the radius, and the only way to escape is by breaking it, or kill the whole enemy team, but it's kinda impossible. But hey, there's still a chance of this happening. And that's it. Every agent has a passive now, not only Jett. I hope you all like this idea, cause it was really interesting to create all this. I want to shout out Sepsky dad again for the inspiration. So yeah, thanks for watching.